Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, whatever day it is. I had to think for a second. I am sharing out to the last place here. Give me just a second. Hope everyone's week is going well so far. Um, I don't know about the year. The year's been kind of crazy, but that's how we roll with it. So we're gonna name off the sponsors real quick, and then we're bringing out the guests for tonight. We got Stone Abdullah on, and we're gonna be talking about some inspirations and Journey of the Shadows, how that came to be, and why it's such a big deal in his heart. So we got Codex Entertainment LLC with Luis Torres. Please check out Lily the Demoness, Ace and Starlet, and Whispers in Necropolis, as well as Nebula Pearl. We've also got 183 Degree Studios, who launched a new project tonight, Unstable Frequencies. There's a link in the description above for that. It is fresh out the gate as of an hour ago, so go check that out. Check out the awesome covers for that after the show, and go back it, show it some love, share it out, do all that nice stuff. And check out their Patreons. You can find some cool art on there, as well as 183degreestudio.com. We got Doris Jones Labor of Love. Please go there and check out her 8x10 paintings. She also has a special going on 8x10 black acrylic neon paint. You can get that for $75. Again, that is Doris Jones Labor of Love.com. We got Naughty Fairies with Miss Wendy Steen Shaner. Go check out Naughty Fairies Con 2022 happening now. It's the 3.0. I am guest relations, so if you have any problems, just hit me up and I will get you where you need to go. And please be kind to each other, or you might meet the end of my taser. And stay tuned for Tyler Fight Club. We're going for 2.0 this year. We've got some Tylers ready to duke it out, have some fun, and beat each other up. I mean, what else better is there to do than see two Tylers just creaming each other? I'm telling you. So check out Naughty Fairies Con. The link is in the description above. And check out her Etsy and get caught up on all those awesome books that you've been missing out on. We've also got Hazzum Productions with Rodney Ficus and Tina. Please check out Roadkill, Rampage, Peanut Pudding, and Jelly. And last but not least, you've got Buddy and Dude in the awesome Pitter Patter story. Number 3 is going to be awesome. You guys definitely don't want to miss out on this. You need to get back issues of 1 and 2, because 3 is going to blow you guys away. I'm telling you now. We got Melone Management with Lisa Malone. Do you have a crowdfunding project that's running right now on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Please hit up Melone Management. Lisa will give you a free 1-hour consultation, let you know what her services are, what she offers, and what she can do to help while you keep cranking on that project. And she can promote for you and find all those awesome stretch goals. Again, that's Melone Management. We got DPopp Customz. Do you have a print that needs an awesome frame? He can do that for you. He can get a light up frame, all kinds of cool stuff. Hit him up at DPopp Customz. And we have Outpost 426 Studios with Mr. Stevie Zane and Michael Shoemaker launching BlackRabbit coming soon. It looks awesome. There's a link above in the description. You can hit that and hit notify me, and you will get notified when that project launches. Also, check out the Scorpiana and Into the Suck. And also, I'm going to name this one off. This isn't an official sponsor, but we're going to talk about it. We got Mike and Trish Bankston with Brink and Fetch. Just want to have fun. That will be launching this Friday. So get ready for that. And last but not least, comic books for kids. Oh my God. All right, hold on. Let me start that over. Rush Explode Studios charity auctions for comic books for kids. Please check out that page. I'm going to get started on it again. I've had a rough go at it with the end of the year, and I just kind of didn't do anything with it, but we're going to get back going with that. So we got some awesome stuff to put on there. We got Trish in the audience, and we got Thomas. So last but not least, we're going to bring out Stone. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, brother Russ? It is good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, go ahead.
Always good. My friend.
Sorry, my wife's stepping out of the shower. She's like, can I go through? Oh, oops, I forgot to turn the camera off.
So,
great. We're getting shut down. There's titty wampuses on here.
We forgot to mention before the broadcast that the nature of the show is like TVMADL.
TVMA. Dude, it's always TVMA up in here. You never know what kind of stuff we're going to talk about. I mean, last time Stone was on here, we were talking about scratch and sniff butt cracks and people smoking stickers and all kinds of craziness.
They were smoking stickers, man. I mean, we had
smoking stickers. Package. Hey, you missed it this past weekend. Nita almost passed out because, like, out of nowhere, everybody's like, "Why do you keep turning your camera off?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not wearing any pants." And I thought Nita was gonna pass out because every time I got up, I was turning. I'm like, I'm legitimately not wearing pants. So
you had no pants.
She's like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. She had to turn her freaking
Oh my
camera off
God.
again. I think she died somewhere and then like was resuscitated somehow.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Stone is everywhere. Well, when you got good shit to talk
Hi,
about
Trish.
and you're a super awesome dude, you kind of get around and you talk about your shit. So we're gonna lean a little different way tonight. I know usually people go on shows and they're like, oh, let's talk about the Kickstarter and all this cool
This
stuff and
Kickstarter is
whatever.
amazing. Back
But
it.
I want to talk about the journey, not journey of into the shadow or journey of the shadow or journey of any shadows. We'll get to that point, but I want to talk about the journey of Stone. How did he get inspired? When did he get into writing? How did he
Man.
get into this journey to making this fantastic book that I've started and I'm on the road to finish. My goal is to finish it by the 18th so I can do a review on it. So you all know
Appreciate
what to
that.
expect in book 2 and you can get book 1 and get caught up on the story. So Stone, tell me, brother, how did you come upon this road to writing this book?
That is a answer 20 something odd years in the making because it's 2022 now. So it's 21 years in the making.
And it's old
I'll tell
enough
you
to
this.
drink.
Yeah, almost. But I still
Almost.
got to show my idea because this doesn't fool many people. But my friend, I tell you this. Back in the day, oh shoots, this is before we had internet, or maybe when we had internet. I had this idea, and it was based upon my aspirations for like science, right? Because I was a budding scientist. I love physical sciences, from climate change, from astrophysics, quantum, general relativity, you name it. I was like absorbing all this stuff as a kid. And as an early teenager, then you always watch shows and stuff. Trish, hi Trish. I'm gonna be like this. And we used to watch these shows like Twilight Zone for Rod Serling, right?
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock Hour, the original Outer Limits, that sort of stuff, man. Space Odyssey 3000 was great, but then we saw some other things like Aliens. Aliens is by far my favorite, like sci-fi. IP, like of all time. But then we also saw stuff like Star Trek, and then you got into like the animation. I saw Akira, and that led me into Japanese animation. So like the old school stuff from Pioneer Company. Trigun. If you guys read the manga, it's just Trigun Maximum. Man, Evangelion. Who hasn't seen it? If you have depression, don't watch Evangelion. All right, just watch something happy like Escaflowne. Nita, what's up? Tenchi Muyo, Outlaw Star, just a whole bunch of stuff.
Outlaw Star, dude. That is one of the best fucking animes out there, and it just ends
all time. It ends.
It ends. Everybody always tries to overdo and like keep shit going, and Outlaw Star is just like, hey, this is the ending. Like it or not, you're fucked. This is it. You're not ever gonna watch anymore.
There is nothing else after this. I was just like, oh my god, my heart. The intro to that show and the outro to that show, I was just like, man, that's so freaking cool. I'm like, man, going out in space is cool. And once then me and my sister, I think she'll pop into the stream. Today's her birthday, by the way. Sakina. Happy birthday, Sakina. And she's the oldest of 6 big sisters of mine. So I'm the youngest out of the bunch. And me and her, we were always like this. And so what we used to do, we used to like make skits. She's the illustrator. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how it happened because my mom and dad, God rest both their souls, they both were not illustrators, right? But she so happened to be like, I don't know, she's way more talented than me. But then I happened to be the writer. Right. Okay. And so then she would write stuff. We would make our own Superman comics and stuff when we were kids. And I would like write in the speech bubbles, and she would, illustrate and blah, blah, blah. So then we were saying like, hey, why don't we come up with our own idea? So like any teenager, you write a fan fiction about something. And then we did that for about a year. I learned HTML. We did a website. Anybody remember GeoCities or Angel Fire hosting? Rest in peace, Lyco search engine. Hey, thank you, Trish. Thank you so very, very kindly. Louis, Torres, we're in the house. We got trouble. Yeah. I see you. And we did.
You might be creeping outside your window. You might actually see him.
Louis, I thought I told you not tonight. Okay, tomorrow. I've got the mineral oil tomorrow. But the cheap kind. It's 99 cents. Okay. You get it at Dollar General. But
at Dollar General. That's what I was getting ready to say, man. You stole it right out of my head. I was like, from Dollar General.
We're right here, Russ. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah. So me and my sis, we finally came to a point where we're like, all right, all this stuff is really cool, but we want to get back to like writing our own shit. You know what I'm saying? So suddenly I had this idea, and all this happened like a span of like 2 years, meaning from like 99 to 2001. So like in late 2000, I drafted what was called then Shadow's Journey. And I was writing that in like my little notebook or something because my parents, they homeschooled the three of us, me and my two big sisters, including Sakina. And, I had some leaflet paper. I was writing down ideas. And, this is during a time where we had encyclopedias, right? Like Britannica, New Book of Knowledge, Young Learner's Library or whatever. And, we had all these books. We had books of stuff, like textbooks of stuff. But then we paralleled that with like us learning histories of other cultures. When you look at ancient history, you see the Egyptians with their form of depicting their culture. It was different from the Incas, from the Mayans, from the natives, and the indigenous people in North America, from the Aboriginal, from the people everyone had their own way of perceiving the world. So then we were thinking, I guess that's how my sister became an illustrator. Now I'm thinking about it. But then how it influenced me was like, because I didn't have any comic books. All I was looking at was visual. And then I had like all these colorful illustrations of ancient history and stuff from all these different cultures. I said, damn, this could be really cool. What if we made a story? What if we made a story about some guy that had a lot of power, but he was young and he was challenged with that power? But how would he be challenged? And this is where I was like, what if? You know what I mean? I didn't really know what everything was going to be. And so when I outlined some stuff in like February of 2001, right? Yeah, February 2001. I still have it. It's in my closet. And I was like, this young guy, I'm not going to bring it out the closet. Hey, this is what you guys get, okay? For $3.69.
That's right.
That's
add in another 21 cents, you get a 2-liter with it.
you get a 2-liter, but it's not chilled. So that's oh my god.
And that's on you. You can use some of that science from Stone. He gets some liquid nitrogen and chill that shit instantly.
I'm like, oh, it's not cold. Watch this, motherfucker. Boom. And there's like this giant hole in your floor.
Oh shit, man! We got the nitroglycerin and not the liquid nitrogen.
Then, bro,
why do we keep that in the same compartment?
Jeez, man. It's just oversight happens to the best of us. Oh my gosh! So we were Journey of the Shadow. Yeah, the primordial phases, Journey of the Shadow. Now, but I tell you what the kicker was in 01. I'll never forget it. There's I had a dream about one of the goddesses that I wrote. And I didn't know what her name was, but she was freaking majestic. Okay, her name's Rosaria, but I didn't know it at the time. And it was this fall day, and she was on like a bench, and it was sparkling. I was just like, "Who's this lady with these deep rose pink eyes with this freaking long?" I'm like, "Who's that lady, sexy lady? Who's that lady?" You know what I mean? So I wake up. I'm like, what is this? So that inspired me to say, I've got to tell. Now I've got more story to add to what was called Shadow's Journey. Then I created a matriarchal deity system. I said, well, let's go with that. Didn't have anything, built, of course. But I was like, that would be so freaking cool. We got to tell the world somehow, some way, whenever, about this phenomenal lady that I had a dream about. That's a part of this story. So that's like the primordial.
How did you do more research on her? Did you like take some NyQuil and go back to sleep and have some more dreams about her? Or?
Man, I wish. Like children's liquid Benadryl. Let me tell you something. It's really effective. All right, but you might not. I'm just saying. Hey, just drop it in some of your Kool-Aid, bro. You're straight.
Now we know where those illicit dreams are coming from. Children's Benadryl. Mark it down, people. Liquid children's Benadryl.
Cherry flavor. I don't go for that bubble gum, all right? Cherry. So you can get the generic kind from, you guessed it, Dollar General. And it's
Dollar General. I get that DG home.
DG. My friends, I'll tell you this. My inspiration to like come up with the rest of them, it came like further down the line, I suppose. Remember I mentioned ancient history, and I looked at some, old civilizations where they had matriarchal empires or, empresses and stuff like that. You had Sheba down there in Ethiopia, you had Nefertiti in Egypt, et cetera, et cetera. And I was thinking, there's some like mentions of it in Zoroastrianism. Like it wasn't just the Greek pantheon. Like we studied that. We studied the, Romans, just an alternate form. Like it's Romans is just, P2 uniform of Greek, right? And looked at Norse, looked at other stuff. I was just like, I like these ideas of these pantheons, but what I didn't like was there's too many human idiosyncrasies. There's so many what ifs and that and stuff. Like we've all seen the Avengers movies and yada, and we've come to know them about that because they have human-like characteristics. I said, but not necessarily. It didn't jive well with me. So when I researched into my research, I looked more into the hard sciences. Like I said earlier, that I had this huge blossoming scientific interest. I don't know where it came from. Actually, that's a lie. It came from my mom. God rest her soul. She was reading to us a book called "Don't Be Scared, Baby Goofy." It was a Disney baby book, right? And it's Baby Mickey. He's smiling the whole fucking book. He's smiling. And Baby Goofy, he's scared out of his mind because there's a dark cloud, there's rain hitting the window, there's wind, lightning strikes. Goofy's like, what the fuck? You don't see that in the book. But this is, Baby Goofy's like, what is going on? Baby Mickey's like, bro, it's cool. It's just a storm, man. That's just lightning. See how it flashes?
It's cool.
It's cool. I was like, why is Mickey so happy? What does he know that makes him so reassured to tell Baby Goofy about this shit, right? So that sparked it when I was like 2 or 3 years old, man. And I was like, you know what? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Stevie Wonder, looking at you. And I said,
hey man, we're gonna have to go back and strike this. I gotta stop you. We're gonna have to go back and strike this out. Disney's gonna try to lay claim to your money because they're gonna be like, oh, we inspired this shit. If it wouldn't have been for Baby Mickey and Baby Goofy, this shit would have never been. Now Disney owns you too. Fuck, look at this. This is how they acquire so much.
This is how they acquire shit. My God. Just edit that out.
I'll just edit it.
Cover your eyes. Yeah.
Edit.
It never happened. I never said it. Okay. Just. What was the science of hard science. And I was like, all right, well, once we get through high school, I got through with that, got into the, thank you so very kindly, Trish. Got through with high school and you get into the real world. And finally, I'm just going to fast forward, we get to college. And I was just like, finally, yes. But by this time, I was already, I had read, a shit ton of books. So when I stepped in the door, they had me tutoring stuff. So I was just like, I am ready to just go ahead and get this bullshit, a BS degree in Earth system science. But that allowed me to just look further into systems theory. And that inspired this system between the goddesses. I was just like, I can duplicate something like this. You know what I mean? Because I had set the manuscript aside. Remember, I'm still writing down when I was working, as an AutoCAD technician at some company, or when I was a district manager for some retail company, I would sit down and I would still draft, from pencil or pen and paper, and go back into the computer and write it down or whatever. But when I got into college, of course, life happens. You got to set some stuff aside, but it was still in my head, right? So finally, hello, Mike. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Michael, when finally being chatty Cathy with Chuck again.
Man, I tell you, the goddesses, I'm trying to cut this short because I'm long-winded. You know me, Ross.
Oh, it's all good, man. I'm enjoying the story too. You know how you came up with this. The systematic.
This. How do you say primordial system of the matriarchy? Because I know I wanted 3 of them. Because I wanted them to represent functions of the universe. So when I got further into my studies, specifically into astrophysics and general relativity and quantum mechanics, that wasn't my profession, but I'll study it anyway. I'm just like, why not? So I looked at it as, that we got these theories out here about supergravity theory, string theory, M theory, blah, 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 about how the universe began, yada, yada. So I was just like, damn, what if I broke it up as a function of the universe? Who was over what? So I came up with these titles, and this goes back to that lady I had a dream about. I said, what if she were the first goddess. Well, she were the mother of knowledge. Oh, there it was. I was like, oh shit, that's the mother of knowledge. Then she had a little sister. That was the mother of souls. That's where humanoids and things and creatures populate the universe. I said, but then who's in control of that stuff? Oh, that's their little sister. That's the mother of power. So I had knowledge, souls, and power. Everybody knows. Shit, it goes live. It goes live again. Nita, calm down, okay? Don't make me give you some cherry children's liquid Benadryl, all right? I've got tons of it. DG brand.
Next show will be sponsored by DG Home, thanks to Stone. Get your Journey of the Shadows now on Kickstarter, sponsored by DG Home.
DG Home. Yeah, Martha Stewart. Like,
oh my God, this is terrible.
This Snoopy D-O-double-G is like Journey of the Shizzle, my dizzle. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, Snoopy D-O-double-dizzle.
Journey of the Shizzle, my dizzle.
My dizzle? What's up, my dizzle? What? Push shizzle, dizzle. Okay, let's, you know. I was listening to Digression before the show. I had it on Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot. I was like, when the pig's trying to get at you, drop it like it's hot. You know, so anyway, guys, back on course. The goddesses were, I knew they were going to be a fundamental core of the universe in Journey of the Shadow, because it was like, well, I was learning how to write, right? While I'm learning how to do academic writing. So I was like, in world building, what sort of world am I trying to build? And I said, in these goddesses, do I want to make them relatable, excuse me, in some aspect or another, or do I want to make them like this? Let me present you an analogy. We know about the planets in the solar system. You know, who doesn't? But you look at Jupiter, for example. There's a great red spot. The Lord knows how long it's been there. We just knew it was there when Galileo popped that telescope. And he was just like, I better not tell the church. And thank you, Galileo, you know, because he probably would have been burned. But anyway, he looked at it and he saw the spot. And since then, we knew there was a great red spot. We know it's the size of 3 Earths. That's a lot of space, okay?
It's a lot of space. But what is that red dot?
What is it? Well, why is the great red spot? Why is it perpetual? We don't know. Literally, if you look up any research,
see what it is Uranus gave Jupiter pink eye.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, it bumped Uranus bumped into Jupiter and gave it perpetual pink eye. You can't treat that, Jupiter. Sorry. Got too many gases, bro.
That shit. Now that's how you get pink eye.
Sponsor.
It was either that or the scratch and sniff stickers.
Well, the scratch and sniff. Which one? We got tears, okay? You got
2 perpetual theories here. All right, everybody. We need votes. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there. You're talking about Jupiter, and then of course the next planet is Uranus. It's this big red spot. I'm just like, oh my God.
That's pink.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. This is why I love Russ, guys. That's why I call him Brother Russ, because he's like a brother to me. So, folks, what was I saying about this analogy? Oh, yeah. So we know it exists. We know it's big. We know it's been there for a while, but it's not relatable. We know it's true. We know it's real. We know it exists, but it doesn't relate to humanity. It doesn't relate to Earth. The physics for it cannot exist on Earth because it's 3 times as big as Earth. So that's the way I thought about conceptually with the goddesses. Even though they may not be relatable characters, like you see somebody with depression or what have you, they're still making an impact on the world, the universe, the characters, etc., etc. And as you read the story, you'll find out what sort of impact that is. But that's the approach I had going into developing the goddesses. But my goodness, man, I'll tell you this: the longest. Well, I mean, like I said, it was already 21 years, but the goddess that took the longest one to develop in terms of what she is, not who she is, what she is. This is an entity. So it was the Shadow Maiden. I can't say her name. It's going to be revealed in Darkness Falls. Don't worry, guys. But that took me about 4.5 years to get her persona, her disposition, because she holds this title, Mother of Power. I'm just like, she's got to be like incredibly regal. It's just fucking magnificent. Like that is like not Maleficent level. You know, we're talking about 100 times that, probably an infinite. I said, how can I come up with something that I don't understand or can't comprehend? So that's what took it so long. You know what I mean? To make it convincing. It may not be relatable, but in terms of storytelling, you still got to make it convincing, right? So I'd say that was the hardest character to develop. But overall, in developing the goddesses, that was I was about to say centrifugal force. I don't know why I said that. It's just nerd. But that was tantamount, especially with respect to the research I was doing and my direct studies in the physical sciences. And yeah, that was just the goddesses. I haven't even talked about the wow. That's a lot of research.
Well, and I mean, that's the great thing about, researching science and stuff like that. That's just now, here in the last week, they just through some of the satellites and stuff, they picked up that a black hole actually emitted energy for the first time instead of sucking in energy. And so, like, scientists are baffled. Like, the first time in hundreds of years, we've been studying all this stuff, and we think we know what it is, and like all of a sudden this black hole just jettisons this huge amount of energy, and everybody's like, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck? Did you see that,
yeah.
Jim?
Well, you see, and here's the thing, 2022 is starting, so now we're gonna get like invaded by like fucking black hole aliens. They're gonna come through and shit. I'm writing a story right now, actually.
You guys were peeping on us, and so we're gonna have to take that out of your memory. Okay.
Yep.
We didn't give you consent. We didn't give you consent to look at us. And then suddenly we get invaded. And then we were like, finally, we were expecting the alien invasion in 2020. But in 2022, we could finally make that a reality. Woo, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we were right. Aliens are real. It's like that show on Netflix. I want to watch it so bad. That's got, Leonardo DiCaprio and
don't look up. Don't
look up. Yeah, I want to see that so bad because it's like the sad thing is like that's how people are these days. It's like, whatever, whatever. Let's go out and get the binoculars and watch this thing that's gonna hit the moon. Yeah, it's like the world we live in. But no, science is so fucking. She said, "Bring it." Fuck those guys. But that's the amazing thing about science. We don't really know, and that's what makes it such a great thing because. What we know today changes tomorrow and changes the next day. And so
that's beautiful.
When you're developing these worlds, you're developing these characters, you can develop any which way you want because today you might be right, tomorrow you might be wrong, but who's going to be able to prove you wrong? And it makes people think. And that's what's so great about it is it creates, creates thoughts. It makes you think. Like, Outlaw Star. I wanted to go back on that. Outlaw Star ends. It just fucking ends. And it's like such a great ending because it leaves room for you to think. It leaves room for you to generate your own idea of what happens next. Instead of somebody waiting on or expecting somebody else to finish it for you, you have to think.
Now the onus is on the observer. Right.
That's right.
And that's how you kindle critical thought. You know what I mean? That's such a lost art. And that's such a lost art in art, especially in writing, because there's a lot of spoon feeding. And I promise not to get preachy about it, but my gosh, the worst thing you can do is write out 2 + 2 and then tell the audience it equals 4. Why would you do that? You're not drawing them. You're not asking them to explore your world. You're not asking them to explore the characters. You're not asking them to understand, to take their time and understand anything. I'm not saying write a textbook, and I will admit, Russ, that the initial manuscript behind Volume 1, A Journey to the Shadow Volume 1, before I published it, my sister, Sakina, she was a beta reader, right? But it was the same one that I was doing comics with, yada, yada, yada. So she's right here with me. And she looked at it and, she's been a nurse for a long time by this point. And she said, listen, you're not writing a textbook, you're writing a story, right? So she said, there's complexity. And then she said, there's all these dimensions where you're trying to get the reader to think. She said, but you're guiding them without actually guiding them. I was just like, wow, this lady's not even writing a book. She said, no, illustrators think different. Okay. So I just give it up to them. But I was just like, because I was still learning how to write, in literary terms. Like I said, I'm not traditionally, I didn't go to liberal arts school or whatever. I learned this, that, or the third. And matter of fact, I'll tell you this, Russ. How I learned how to write was by, all those stories I mentioned. You had the TV on, right? And I mute the television. This is that's unconventional, and you put it on closed caption, and then maybe you'll throw on some, CD. Kids, we used to have CDs. And I know we were there 3,000 years ago. Destroy it, cast it into the
I
fire.
still love CDs, man. There's nothing like holding a physical copy of something. I hate digital. Like, I have never bought a digital PlayStation 4 game. If it doesn't exist on disc, I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it. Damn right. Amen to that.
No, because here's the thing. You buy it digitally, at any point somebody can be like, you're not allowed to play that anymore.
Exactly. They'll strip it from you. There's no ownership. You know what I mean? The value is taken.
But yeah. It's like you said, you put on closed captions, you put on your own soundtrack, and you read the words. It's like read the story.
Reading the words. Right. And you look further into it. It's just like science. You're doing an investigation. How in the world are they conveying emotion through dialogue? What is sad in words? What's happy in words, etc. So what I'm trying to do is read the illustration. Sometimes, when we finally got satellite, you were able to pause the show. You had DVR at the time. So I could pause it and study the animation, sometimes frame by frame, and say, okay, this is how they're building the scene. This is how they're building the character through this scene. So this is, they say a picture tells 1,000 words. Well, I'm trying to convert that into 1,000 words. So I spent about maybe 2 years with this technique, with different shows, with the same stuff that I was watching before, like with Twilight Zone, with Outlaw Star, etc.
Yeah, and let's just say, kids these days have got it great because, like you said, with satellite and digital age, now you can pause stuff. See, when we were kids, it was like you didn't have time to shake it off. That's how the helicopter was invented. You just spun it as you were walking out of the bathroom. You're like, oh shit, the show's back on.
The show's back on.
Tie a knot in it.
Tie it up. It's still leaking. That's all right.
Patch the hole.
There's a hole in my bucket, and it's not the right one. Joseph, they took your classic.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, Trish asked the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was waiting until you got done. If we want to go ahead and take this question real quick, we'll back it up and we'll go back to her original question because I really like this question.
Sure.
So she said, a question that we talked about over dinner: if you're a superhero, where do you draw the line at killing a bad guy? How far would he go before you kill them? Or are you so pure it doesn't matter? No death ever. So if you were a superhero, where do you draw the line?
I draw the line on if what his actions do have repercussions on the condition of the people, particularly if it's going to be a detrimental outcome. Say, for example, the strife, suffering, or maybe even torture. You observe the condition. Look at a bad guy. What is he doing? Is what he's doing is what are his actions a consequence that impacts me? Because I can handle that. You know what I mean? Like the Batman Joker thing.
Yeah.
And
or is his actions,
or is
what he's doing affecting a whole colony or state,
right?
Or
city. Colony or state or city or planet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In that case, you have to make an objective decision. If this perpetuates, if you have the power to stop it, stop it. If you give him an opportunity, like if you like punch him in the throat and say, okay, don't come back or whatever, but you have to have that judgment of character to say, but this person went through all this stuff to make these people suffer. And if I punch him in the throat, sure, he's going to take off and be a good person again. He needs to be like, it's over, asshole. It's all over. So me personally, you had to think objectively about life or death, right? Because if it's life or death for the people he's impacting, then the same should be held accountable against him. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're making,
the thing is, to expand on that is, do they have the ability to change? Do you see in them that they actually feel remorseful for what they've done and that they have the possibility of change? If they don't have the possibility of change, eventually they're going to end up hurting somebody. It's lights out, buddy.
That's it. I'm not even sorry.
Like you said, you give them a choice. You
give them you have to give them an ultimatum in that situation, right? Because they make the conscious decision to do all these acts time and again. And by the way, bad guys wake up and go to sleep just like the good guys, right? You have an opportunity every day to make a conscious decision to go out there and do some dirt. No, now we know Manita goes through mail. So yeah, if I were a superhero, of course, you would make this and say, you give an opportunity based upon what he already did. And if he already did, and the folks have already died, you're just like, man, what are you trying to accomplish? There have been tyrants that walked before you, and we've kicked their asses. So now it's ass kicking time. You got to go, buddy, out the door, into the flow, Yeah. So that's like,
well, it's like Batman. Batman in one series he kills, and one series he doesn't kill.
That's correct.
And so you have the non-lethal protector, and you have the lethal protector of one character. And it's like, to be honest, the non-lethal protectors really don't exist, because there's a fine line that sometimes you just have to take them out because they just are relentless. They don't stop, and they will never stop.
They don't care.
They don't care. And then the thing is, is it going to be one of these things where, like, for the next 20 years, you're just going to keep chasing the same guy because he gets out and he's, on to another city trying to kill him? It's like, no, you ain't got time for that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Come on, who got time for that? You ain't got Russ. Who the hell got? We would love.
We don't have time for that. We're creators, man. We got shit to do. We're gonna wipe your ass off the map. Bye bye.
Boo! That's it. And go about your day, and everyone will be like, "Thank you, thank you, very kind.
Thank you so much." I mean, we were putting this. This was going on for far too long. Motherfucker's gonna look like scared Goofy by the time you roll up. He's gonna be like, "Oh shit, I done fucked up now."
I fucked up.
And then there's Stone, like the freaking Mickey. He's, "Oh, it's okay."
I'm gonna kick your ass. You're gonna die, motherfucker.
Die, motherfucker. So then her other question was, are your characters what you strive to be, or your hidden darkness?
Both. Because I think you have to be honest with yourself in both respects. This yin yang principle. I think too much in our society. If I can get philosophical for a second, that's what Journey of the Shadow is. It's an abstractionism of what you walk through with life. And the main character, Commander Sumesu, I would say that he's much an extension of myself as a young man. But I would say that as a creator, if you're trying to be sincere with yourself and your craft, and if you want to try to reach people, it's not going to reach everybody. But if your intent is to reach other people, then sincerity should be the number one mode of your function, I suppose. And that means I had this conversation with Chris Trainer, the guitarist for the band Bush. It's the little things that kill. That guitarist. And we talked about the good and bad, that you have to accept both about yourself. Not about, forget the world for a second. You're talking about the good and bad about yourself. And living with them both makes you appreciate one or the other, right? And you acknowledge the darkness of yourself to see where the light is and how far and how much you can accomplish with the light. That's the end. That's the end, bro.
Oh my god. Like, that wasn't where the story was going, Nita, but thank you for that kind of observation. So we're glad you know who he's talking about.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. God damn it. Cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
Oh Jesus!
All right.
That came. I seen that pop up, and I almost fell out of my chair, man. You're talking about you discussing this song with her. She's like, "He fucked my sister."
He fucked my sister. He was one of the Moron brothers.
She says, "Wow, Nita, thanks for song." She's like, "He was cool as shit." After he banged their sister, they sat around the coffee table and they talked about life and.
Back, you remember sister? Oh yeah, she was hot. I think like on a Wednesday, that's when we should like run a train on her. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. They're talking about like astrophysics, and then they talk about banging somebody. Straight.
He played Legos with me. That was the most random fucking thing. I was so not expecting that to come up. He taught Nita how to make a bong out of Legos. That's what it was. She still got it. This day, she glued the motherfucker together. She's like, "I'll always remember you and how you fucked my sister."
I kept the first resin from the first pile of resin. Nita, I swear to God.
I got resin from Bush.
Oh my god. Okay. We got, ladies and gentlemen, all right, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Summer's Eve. from Christina Hendricks to Susan Lucci. It's the product women use to clean their coochie. Summer's Eve. What was even?
Get that bush resin out.
Clean that. You know, you get it nice and sparkly. You know what I mean? Before you go to the now back to Red Schedule program. Okay, question for what? I was talking about darkness and something. Oh yeah. Honesty. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta embrace both of them. You gotta embrace the light and the dark.
The light and the dark, right? And that can manifest in different ways for different people, right? So the next book is, it's called Darkness Falls, and it explores that particular darkness with, our main character, Commander Shimizu. And that had to come to terms with me having a reckoning with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole lot of stuff went down for people in 2020, including yours truly. And I was just like, I didn't think this would be inspiration to expand upon the universe of Journey of the Shadow or provide this much depth to the characters, yada, yada, but it did. And I say, well, this is healthy, because the first step towards understanding, right, is acknowledging that something exists. Wisdom is putting that knowledge into place. So I was like, well, damn. That's something like my old man, God rest his soul, told me. So I was just like, all right, well, let's put it into action then. Let's put it into words, literally. So I would say that it's a function of both. All of these characters, Suzuka, Tetiana, Arlette, Goddess Evelyn, and Rosaria, Shadow Maiden, Shujin Iwado, all these characters, they represent some function or a derivative thereof of what is that you're trying to communicate with people, whether it's be in terms of great relatability or not. It's all the summation of all of them will paint a picture for the observer. I hope that answered that question thoroughly. I hope so.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's the same thing with Xenonanite Titan. I mean, Raziel contains a lot of, like, people that know me can read the book and go, I see a lot of you in the character. That's like, because I'm writing a story about a father who has 2 kids. I'm a father who has 2 kids, so a lot of it's going to be my experiences and, projecting the way that I think into the character, because you can't really portray a story without knowing somewhat what it's like to be in that situation and how you would react or how your character would react. And you take it from life experiences. And, like, you have the multi-characters, and each character will always possess a trait that you carry, because when you try to think, how would this character react in a scheme, you're either A, thinking of Sally down the street and the way that this person would react in that situation, or B, you're deriving from your own life into that character, that experience, to make it more relatable. And I mean, that's how I work. I mean, I watch people and I know people, and when I try to think of a character, if I can't pull that trait for myself, I find somebody that's close to me that I know that is exactly like
that's exactly like that. Like,
yeah.
This is the abstraction from someone whose life experience is, that's the truth, the ground truth in science. We call it, there's a ground truth. And then you've got approximations. Well, the characters you develop are approximations of people, and the approximation goes from 0 to 100, right? And there's different, and that's the beauty of creativity. That's the beauty of abstractionism, is that you can go and, how do you say? Well, it's on my shirt. There are 2 types of people in this world: those who can extrapolate from incomplete data and those who don't, right? So this extrapolation based upon what we understand, what we observe, that gives us more, not just material, but it helps us understand our own characters more, right? And it helps us to tell the wider story that we wish to tell, right? And I think that reflects, circling back to what I was explaining earlier about learning how to write, because I think that was this topic. And, when I was pausing everything and learning how to, writing this sort of stuff, it's still ongoing, right? I didn't, one thing I mentioned in another show, it'll come to me, but they asked if I owned a lot of comic books or I read a lot of comic books growing up. And I said, no, I didn't. We didn't. A lot of the, influences or me trying to understand how to write, right? How to write dialogue, how to write narrative, and first person, second, third person, yada, yada, yada. Some of it came, academically, as you go up through high school and whatever, but then the rest in terms of storytelling and finding your own voice, that comes with practice, my friends. That comes with practice. And, but it also is an extension of how you look at the world. So my inspirations, right, for, like I was saying earlier with the goddesses, come literally from the physical universe. And I said, well, even though that's a tough subject, that's tough, guys. I'm not even going to talk about the monsters that exist in those equations, which actually proved to be true. They didn't believe Einstein when he predicted black holes back in 39. And all of a sudden, in the Nobel Prize winning research in 1983, they proved that supermassive black holes, tens of millions to billions times the masses of our own star, exist at the center of every galaxy. Well, the majority of them anyway. And that sort of understanding to say, well, and this is what you said earlier, just because who's there to disprove you? This is how you perceive the world. This is your story. This is unique to your insight. So creatively, this subjectivity now starts to creep up because art is interpretation, right? This is the way I'm interpreting it, right? So this is the way I interpreted how to write someone's voice. As I was learning how to write, I said, well, this is what I'm interpreting from these stills off of television. This is what I'm interpreting from the closed caption dialogue, yada, yada, yada. I used to write things purely dialogue based as if it was a screenwrite. You know what I mean? And then I got bored with it. I was just like, well, how do we just write something structured? And that's where I pulled from my academic writing, because it's almost like telling a story, but you're doing, here's what the problem is. Here's the question I'm asking. Here's my methodology and approach. Here's my results. Here's my conclusion. You guys can reproduce the experiment if you want, right? But then you take it from that and you say, well, here's how someone's life is being perceived. This is how you narrate it. This is how they're walking through this world. I'm just like, holy crap, that's amazing. So every day, I would say, not just walking through life and learning things, as an adult and yada, 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 but as a creative. I'm also a musician, so I'm learning new things about music. I can't read a lick of theory, my friend, but I tell you, it's all, I listen to the notes. That's how I taught myself how to play guitar and like 10 other instruments. It's you kindle that within the person, and it's like a little wind-up toy. They just take off, and you're building their critical thing, and they're just like, oh, that's how it works, and then that's how it works. That's how we function. So I would say, even though even though my methods were like unconventional, especially as I go from from a comic person to like an author or whomever, I find that my matriculation into becoming an author is completely unconventional against a lot of people, but that doesn't make it less valuable than anybody else on the planet, because no one can write a story like you can. No one can write a story like they can, because that's them. I'm me. You know what I mean? No one can write a story like you.
Everybody has their own way. Everybody has their own process.
That's the beauty of it, and that's what keeps us creating.
If we all wrote the same, it would be the same shit. It'd be, every story would follow the same framework, and that's why we write in the way that's comfortable for us, because we're creating a story in our own framework, not the framework of every other story out there.
That's correct. So I'm looking at you, Hollywood. Stop it. I'm looking at you, Hollywood. The spoon feeding. I'm just like, you just
or the fact that we keep going back and revisiting the same damn stories over and over again. Like, how many times can you remake a series?
How many times are we going to retell Alice in Wonderland? Can we stop doing that? Can we stop retelling Cinderella? Can we stop retelling 101 Dalmatians? I'm looking at you, Disney. I mean, just stop.
That's our Disney still looking at you for your comment earlier.
Oh yeah, they're just like, did you hear that? Someone's balls were itching because Disney was mentioned in the ether sphere. They're just like, Disney was mentioned in a podcast somewhere on Facebook, and then he's he's one of those lurkers, you know what I mean? And he's just like, oh yeah, that's great. And then he takes his drawers off and whatever. He just shakes them around. He's like, I can't wait to get a hold of this IP. Just turn it out. Trish, go ahead, Russ. Question for the class. Our friend want a death by snoo-snoo. What's that? What? Does our friend do I want death by snoo-snoo? Or does this guy want death by snoo-snoo? Okay, now me,
We all want death by Snoo Snoo. I mean, what a way to go out with a bang, right?
Bro, I mean, you come and go at the same time. It's
come and go. That's right. Yeah, I love Futurama, and so anytime I see that Death by Snoo Snoo, oh my gosh, Futurama is such a fucking great show.
My God, get the blackjack and the hookers, okay?
Yeah.
Gotta love Bender.
Yeah, I love her. Serious. I'm a good girl and don't know what that is. And I always ask my wise friends like you if I don't know. Listen, Death by Snoo Snoo means you're getting fucked to death. So, I mean,
that's it. Period. I mean, there you go. Yeah, that's it. And
whether A, you get banged until you have a heart attack, or B, you get smothered by Steph-sized breasts. Yes, we size them by Stephanopoulos.
Steph is, we have like the Fujita scale for rating tornado intensity. We have the Steph scale, all right? Blackjack and hookers on a deep space. Deep space
69.
69.
Just watch out for that bush resin while you're down there.
I heard it's plentiful near the asteroid belt.
Oh, it's so plentiful. Jesus Christ.
What was I talking about to you, Russ? Yeah, I was just the writing process and everything was self-taught.
Yes, it's a great death.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. And matter of fact, I'll tell you this, no spoilers, but my character, the guy here, Commander Sumitsu, like I said, he's 19. I don't expect him to have knowledge of a sage at that age. Like, I'm tired of these young characters being depicted as always knowing what to do or what to say. They always have the right thing. I'm like, dude, you've only been on this earth for that long. I don't know one 19-year-old, let alone myself, or 18, or somebody that just, has wisdom of somebody that's walked this earth for like 72 years, for example. That's two different cases, all right? So one of my motivations behind developing Commander Sumitsu was like to not add to the ethosphere about this completely unrealistic depiction of young men that may have superpowers. Just because you have a lot of strength doesn't mean you have a lot of knowledge. That's the two different things. So that was one overarching behind Journey of the Shadow. And it's existential in the title, Journey of the Shadow. Man thinks of himself as a shadow. He's going through his journey through life with these incredible supernatural powers, yada, yada, yada. So I would say that with this, someone asked me, why did I choose 19 years? Well, why did J.K. Rowling, choose Harry Potter to be like, 5 or 6? When he hopped in Hogwarts, I'm not sure, maybe he was 8 years old. No, don't quote me on that. But he was young. That's the way the story started, because she had all these ideas for him to matriculate through Hogwarts, et cetera, and we know the story. So at this point in Commander Sumitsu's life, where he has these responsibilities and he's got all these crazy powers, then he's confronted with something that makes him ask what-if questions about himself, right? And those are the questions that when you're a young person, my goodness, it could either send you down a spiral because you haven't developed the coping mechanisms yet. You haven't been on this earth for a long time. You haven't. Maybe you've been taught a little bit of something, but there's going to be some derivative of how we express or manifest these modes of depression. You know what I mean? Because they flare up differently for everybody. There's a common denominator. My goodness. I want to experiment. That's the word I was looking for, Russ. I want to experiment with Commander Sumitsu. And as I was writing the story about how it would manifest through him, even though he's got these crazy powers. And so I said, well, my goodness, you see the awards all the time, and actor, you have the main actor, supporting actor, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't want to make the rest of these characters like Shuji Nawado is his best friend. He's 18. They were going to high school at the same time. I didn't want to look at them as like supporting characters. I'm like, all of these characters have lives, right? I said, here's another challenge. I said, what if we created depth of character for each of them, where anytime one of them were speaking, it would be as if they're the main character in the story, because you have all these extraordinary individuals from beyond the moon or what have you that come together under one branch of the story arc. And suddenly there's this common, this is common adversity that they're challenged with. So another, I would say, extension of me learning how to write was not just, okay, well, I've just got the star of the show here, and then I don't put a lot of effort into like the other characters and kill them off 6 pages into the story, right? I hate doing that. I can't say. I'll touch more about that later. But I wanted to take some time into developing the rest of these characters because they're so important to how the world functions in Journey of the Shadow, let alone how they influence behavior, the understanding of Commander Sumisu, et cetera, et cetera. Everything is an extension of each other. That's something that I learned just walking through life. Something, it's a small world. Like bumping into you, bumping into all these other guys in the comic, in the indie comic community. I was just like, dang, man, this is a really tiny world. I knew that guy for that long. I didn't know he knew that guy and that lady, et cetera, et cetera. I said, well, this is really fucking cool. So you see that parallel through life, right? And I said, it doesn't matter whether you're across the moon and some other civilization, there's going to be characteristics that are similar somewhere. Maybe we'll touch a little bit on quantum entanglement, kids. But I said that is like an underlying degree of relatability that when people read the story and they'll see how I'm communicating that from my experience. Now, about the characters and death and killing them off and turning your characters into a graveyard. Spoiler alert, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. I think it takes more work to write multiple books, multiple novels, mind you, and have multiple characters with strong histories, with strong personalities, and pit them against adversities and see how they overcome it. There used to be a time and place where we were more interested in the lives of characters rather than being interested in how they died. Look at the overarching. Where did it start? In 2019, suddenly we had a lot of murder podcasts, a lot of murder this, murder mystery that. Every network had their own murder show. I'm just like, well, my God, with all this macabre being spilled over everywhere, when the hell are we going to be interested in somebody living? What are they doing? How are they, how are they impacting people right fucking now? How is it impacting you? So this diametric inversion of what we're interested in, because we know death is a finality. Yeah, we all know that. But what the fuck are we going to pay attention to while we're here? You know what I mean? So I took that philosophy into Journey of the Shadow. So no, I'm not R.R. Martin, the guy behind Game of Thrones, right? When you try to read the book, I saw a meme once upon a time where somebody had put in little color tabs of every time a character died. I'm just like, that's lazy. Yeah. Am I knocking R.R. Martin a little bit? Yeah. It's like they didn't enjoy the murder series. Thank you. We had so many murders. We had Unabomber. Their parents named him Unabomber. And then the FBI didn't catch on when they looked at the birth certificate. It's like, this name is just Unabomber. Well, he'll be fine. And then, we finally got the Unabomber. I'm kidding. But we've got enough to cover many generations about how people died, about how the serial killer was, or yada, yada, yada. Journey of the Shadow, and me witnessing a lot of death in a short period of time, I will say that principally. I would say, well, I'm not trying to put myself through a whole lot. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen in Journey of the Shadow. Again, no spoilers. But the theme that I see that's pervasive and horrifically ubiquitous in our media is just us being invested in people just getting murdered or dying. I'm like, I'm interested in life. I'm interested in giving people life. I'm interested in uplifting or empowering or encouraging or motivating, inspiring, because damn it, that's what my parents told me to do before they left this earth. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like,
well, the basis of what you're saying is we went from shows that give people hope because we see these people overcome these adversities and become stronger in them. We give up hope in people because we show them, well, fuck it, these people just gave up and died. This is how they were killed. And we lost hope.
We lost hope, brother. We lost it. And that's a shame. That's a bastardization against the human spirit, to remove hope from the individual, because that's one of our principal tools for coping with this reality, because we're going to face a lot of struggles. We don't know what magnitude or what, because we don't have the power to see tomorrow. So we have to have tools now for ourselves and to give to each other. And one of those functioning tools is what you said, hope. And when you remove that, my goodness, what is it that you're trying to extend to the human being? What are you trying to teach them? And I sound like I'm preaching a little bit, but I'll tell you this. I taught K through 12, Russ. I taught kids. I taught undergraduate, hard sciences, hard mathematics. I taught grown people in graduate school. It's teaching assistant, research assistant, blah, blah, blah. I'm teaching hard stuff from AI, machine learning, and all this other type of shit, right? And every time somebody walked through my classroom, anytime, they walk through. I wouldn't even go into the material. I would say, guys, you're sitting down here because you took it upon yourselves to have an opportunity, to give yourself an opportunity. I said, so my job today is not to tell you that you don't know anything. My job is to inspire you to learn more about what you don't know, that's what's already within you, that pre-exists in you. My job is to light that fire. I said, and if that doesn't happen, I'm not doing my job. Do you know how many administrators and, you know, department heads and stuff were fucking mad with yours truly because that was my teaching philosophy at a collegiate level, which, like, you know, forced them to, they send nasty emails and shit, and they would tell the undergraduates, you know, teenagers and, you know, adults alike, because they would come to my office. This is still in the function of the philosophy behind writing. They would come to my office and be like, you're the first person who gave a shit about us. I'm like, I'm not surprised. Look at the fucking environment. They said you either learn this shit or you fucking fail. I'm like, but that's not fair to the person. Where's the hope? Boom, there it is. Where's the hope that you're giving to this individual that they're going to have the ability to learn this hard shit? Where's the hope that you're giving? That's your job, right? So speaking of which, I said, well, the same thing can be spoken about with the intent of what you're creating and what it is that you're trying to communicate to the human being by the time they get their hands on it, or by the time they listen to it, or whatever. We mentioned earlier in the show, we acknowledge both sides of life. Yes, exactly. And that will happen. But my goodness, don't omit parts of life that mutually exist, that gives the person hope. That means that they can say, well, oh, shoots, I can see the value of myself. Oh, shoots, then I don't have to depend on some company or my job to validate my existence or to, you know, measure my self-worth. No, all that shit, these are dependencies that are based on delusion to trick you into thinking that when you step into this earth, the moment you're born, that you're tied to some organization that you don't know yet, but your value as a human being belongs to somebody else, let alone a corporation or something. Fuck that. That does not exist. So what do you do for somebody? You give them hope. You give them the tools. You give them the foundation so they can, hey, maybe they could be self-inspired. Maybe they can have the better self-esteem when they look at themselves in the mirror. Maybe they'll look at life differently. Maybe they'll have a different perception of the world around them. Maybe they'll finally see the beauty in life despite the darkness. And that's the reason why you see all this shit. That's why you see all this shit. It's just a representation of the beauty of life. That's it. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing too, you know, is giving people a different outlook on life. I mean, a lot of people live these days, it's all about me. Not what I can do for you, but what I can do for me. We need more people to be inspired and have hope and see. Here's the thing, you know, Xenonanite Titan. This story is hardcore. You know, Rosaria faces some of the worst shit in life, and people will sit down and they read this and they're like, fuck. You know, maybe my life's not so bad. This guy's got it rough. You know, and that's the way that people need to perceive the world around them, is no matter how bad you have it, there's always somebody out there who has it worse than you. And learn to be human and humane to your other humans. You know, learn to not judge somebody. Maybe stop and think, what is this person going through? How can I give them hope? How can I put a smile on their face? Oh, this person's having a rough time. I don't care what it is that's bothering them. How can I make them smile today?
Thank you. How can I put a smile on somebody's face? If I make one person smile, then I've done some work on this earth. Because my friends, that's priceless. And you're absolutely, I'm just saying amen to all that. Amen to all that. Because why not? Why not? We've got the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And so with respect to being creators, I'm not saying we have an obligation or whatever, but we have an opportunity, right, to add more to the volume of media, of art that's out there. They say art is a representation of what society is going through. Well, the art right now is it depresses me, for crying out loud, because there's just so many things that are just absent, right? When you compare from, you know, different times, different sectors of society or whatever. So
and then you get stuff pool art. And then I still want to fill that hole.
So
I still want to fill that hole.
Nita, remember we were talking about your sister? Yeah. They were talking on a Saturday. No, it was actually a Tuesday evening at 5:39. Actually, everybody gets off work. They're just like, "How was your day?" Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I think we just need to run a train.
We still need to fill that hole.
We need to fill that hole. So that's what Step Pool is here for, to remind you that every hole, just go. Matter of fact, folks, go to a golf course and just fill up every hole. Who are you lying to? Who, me? Oh, this guy. You know what? Is that Russian? I've seen that before, Russ, and I can't remember. Anyway,
our stream's being invaded.
They saw us.
Russia Matushka.
Bliat. Oh shit! But we as creators, like I said, we have an opportunity to add more to that particular construct of the artistic medium, whether they're taken away from it. Trish,
Okay.
Trish said
so I got. All right, hold on. We're gonna put you on the big screen. We got to share the advertisement, and everybody wants your reaction when we get back. So we're gonna play this video real quick. It's a minute, a little over a minute long. Are you ready for this, Stone?
No, I'm not. But let's go. Let's fucking do it. Let's get
it. Do it.
Hi everyone, I'm Brink. Hi everyone, I'm Fetch. We're just two witches trying to have fun.
Wow! Hey guys, it's Stuffpool. Whoa, look at those big old hooters. No wonder I've got black eyes. I just love being the peanut butter in this sandwich. Get these awesome stickers, and oh look, they're scratch and sniff panty sets. Get on in here, ladies. Oh yeah, that's right, get close. Brink and Fetch just want to have fun? That's a nut and sock, cause you only get one. That's what Stuffpool says.
That's a nut and sock, cause you only get one. You only He was like, my man Simple was like, oh yeah, I like being the peanut butter in this sandwich.
I had so much fun making that video. Oh my god! And when I sent it to Trish and Mike, I just cringed. I was like, "Oh my god! I don't know how they're gonna take this."
That was so beautiful because I was like, when I saw the image was panning up to the girls in bed, I was like, "Oh god!" And you just nailed the one-liner. I was just like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Oh yeah, I like peanut butter in this." It's so like, hell yeah, brother.
Oh shit! Trish said, "So do you need a nut and sock?"
I need to.
I think it is amusing. I'm so glad you guys like it. That's just my sense of humor. Like anytime I do anything like that, it's like it's gonna be fucked up.
It was beautifully fucked up. I'm like, this is striking me on a spiritual level. I'm like, oh shit! I started breaking out in sweat. I'm sorry, my sides were hurting. Oh man, thank you guys for giving that video to Russ, because that's what's going to bring peace to the Middle East. That's what's going to improve our relations between Russia and the United States. Okay, this right here is gonna solve climate change. You guys have no idea. Right here, guys.
And right there, there's the petition. Have you seen the video?
Do you see that? That's
world
the petition.
peace. Yep.
Go sign that shit. Okay, we're here. We're talking about bridging gaps and crossing borders. But let me tell you something.
Filling holes.
And filling holes. We're filling holes. We're beyond the moon. Oh shit. Oh, thank you.
Chris said, "No, it's all Russ. He's so amazing." And Nita said, "Nut and sock equals crunchy roll." Oh my god.
Oh, use your fabric softener, folks. Just use your fabric softener. Oh, send more peanut. Yeah. Oh, send more peanut butter because they're gonna need it. It's just it's like lube, folks, just a hell of a lot stickier.
That's right.
Whew, thank you for sharing that media. I need a copy of that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I need a copy of that if you don't mind.
I'll hook
Thank
up.
you, Trish, for bringing it up. And yeah, don't worry, that was great. I broke out in a sweat. I was like, wow, this is great. All right, I'm good. I'm good now. Oh, hold on, let me drink some.
Good.
Yeah, are we
All
still
right,
alive?
good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're still alive. All right, so we're gonna let you sweat it out big time now. So we talked about your inspirations. We talked about how you got into the story and how the story came about and how all this world building and character building. You know, one of the goddesses took 4 years for you to grasp and wrap your head around how she works, where she came from.
Oh yeah.
Give us the elevator pitch. Give us the elevator pitch for Journey of the Shadow and where we're going with this next.
Okay. You want volume 1 or you want Darkness Falls?
I want volume 1, and then I want you to lead into Darkness Falls.
Okay. Boom. All right. Check it out. Yo, check it. We got our young man, Commander Sumisu. He's the leader of the supernatural shadowy warrior clan in modern day Earth, the Sanzai clan. And there are sorcerers, it's dark sorcery that's taken humans' lives and it's increasing across the planet. So Commander Sumisu leads the charge with his warriors across Earth to stop the resurrection of the ancient evil. But he finds out that his friend is an alien leader that 2 extraterrestrial civilizations have been searching for 800 years. And not only that, he stumbles across a supernatural genius that might hold clues to who he is and how he got his powers. Now, the question is, can he piece together all of these phenomenal individuals, and do they have something to do with this crisis that's developing on Earth? That's volume 1. Now, my friends, after the events of volume 1, things get worse. I'm sorry to say it, but hey, you know, we got a new evil that hit the planet. His name's Yoro. Call him the Disciple of Torment. And bodies are now building up. Human bodies are building up. And it causes Sumisu to doubt himself and his own powers. So can he pull strength from like mercenary Tetiana and Princess Izuka and the rest? And if he can't draw strength from these phenomenal individuals, darkness will fall upon the universe without mercy, including galactic genocide. That is Darkness Falls.
Can he overcome?
Can he? My God,
Can he overcome the resin of Bush?
I'm asking that same question. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, we need to go back to what we were talking about with Trish. She said, thanks you for answering. So a great death. I mean, what a better death than to die a master swordsman. I mean,
come on, master swordsman, and then it's just like boom. You just get that one good nut. Shamika, my gosh, Shamika's amazing. She is a published author from Jamaica. Thank you, Shamika, for joining us. You're awesome. Darkness Falls, my friends, is not the last book of the series. We got 2 more that's coming up. Hopefully, Russ, next year will be the book 3, Vengeance Theorem. And then after that will be Sumisu Rising. That's the working title I have for it. It may change. But both of those manuscripts were book 3 and 4. I wrote them in 2015 before I started my first semester in graduate school. Since then, I've got this whole idea to create a whole second series of 4 more books. Gosh, you know what I mean? It's like you want to just get down and just, spill it all out, but you can't. You just got to spill it into one sock. But I want to spill it into multiple socks. You know what I mean? So you got to drink your socks. Yeah, man. What they say, apple cider or pineapple juice or something. You got to drink all that stuff and take your nitrates because that's going to help you pump out more juice. You get it? Pineapple? All right. But in Darkness Falls, I tell people this all the time. Oh, here it is. See, okay, so this is about 98,000 words for volume 1. This is the second edition, folks. Volume 1 is the introductory book. It's the shortest one out of all out of all 4 in this series. I call it the intro book because you run into these characters right? And you get to see them, maybe working within their titles. Like Princess Azuka, you can see over my shoulder here. You'll probably bump into Goddess Evelyn, that sort of thing. But then we do an expansion of who they are and their histories, et cetera, within Darkness Falls, and then how their backgrounds, how their personalities tie together. You'll see some time advance or yada, yada, yada in Darkness Falls. And that's the reason why it's like twice as long, just about twice as long. Like this is 98,000, 174,000 words.
So basically what Stone's saying is Journey of the Shadow is girlfriend material. And then you get into Darkness Falls and you get into that thick wife material right there.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you got some birthing hips in Darkness Falls.
Yeah,
okay,
some birthing hips. You got that end table ass. You just want to pull up to that bumper and smack that monkey.
You'd be like, lady, says, I'm like, girl, get over there. If you don't hop in that bed, right? Fucking now. Oh, this is gonna be.
I want to open you up and read every line.
And read every line.
So folks, get in on it now. Get in on Darkness Falls coming on January 18th. It's going to be a kick-ass ride. And if you haven't read Journey of the Shadow, then you need to either hop onto his website, get you a copy of that super sweet art book that's on the other side of this on table here. And he just like, she's like, man, they're talking about opening it up and reading every line. She's like, oh my God, I think I just got wet. She's got her razor out again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wider than the Panama Canal, girl. I'm trying to tell you. It's going to be wide open.
But yeah, you folks need to get in on this. January 18th. Do you have a time picked out that you're going to launch this bad boy?
At 8 o'clock, will launch on Phil Lockler's show, I think Unscripted, on that day. So it'll be 8 p.m. when it launches. The first 24 hours, you guys can hop in on special tiers that we made. It's going to be some discounted stuff. Oh, I am the
getting a little hot and bothered.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. It's very kindly, Mike. Thank you very, very kindly. First 24 hours, it's going to be like a special deal we're running for like the first 3 tiers. You guys hop in on that.
What you get is the first 24 hours, you get that DG Home cherry flavored liquid Benadryl. So you too can knock yourself out and dream about that hot and sexy goddess and all the things you want to do to her. I mean,
you know you want to, okay?
You know you want to.
Look at these notes. And you know what, guys? You know what, guys? I'm not afraid to say it because they had these titles: Mother of Knowledge, Mother of Souls, Mother of Power. And since they're matriarchal, they're literally MILFs. They're the first MILFs of the universe. So I mean, get these MILFs, man. We got exclusive art. This comes from Shikari. You guys will either get it in poster form. You can get it. Yeah, my God, when he did this is literally how they've looked in my head all these years. And I asked Shikari, I'm like, how the hell did you do this? He's like, well, you told me. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fair enough. But this is exactly, and I work with him because I wanted to have like the realist depiction of the characters, like how they look like to me. You know what I mean? Like I work with other phenomenal illustrators. You'll have access to, oh man, there's a lot of good stuff. These 22 by 28 inch posters. And if you don't want to go that big, we've got prints, we got special bundles. Guys, it's going to be fucking amazing. We're going to have a lot of fun with this Kickstarter. Can't wait till we launch it, man. You guys are going to blow your fucking minds. Oh, by the way, I don't charge you guys extra for signing the book. You get Darkness Falls automatically signed on the first tier. You get, in the second tier, you're going to get Volume 1 and Darkness Falls signed at no extra cost because I want you to have it. I want you guys, I'm marking down a lot of this shit because I want you to be immersed in the story, in the world of Journey of the Shadow. So we could be like, man, that was fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, man, we could talk because it's a community.
And if you get the special art book, Shadow MILFs, you get a nut and sock free.
Shadow free. So okay, but processing and handling because supply chain issues, all right? But
I don't know if you want to be handling the nut and sock.
But hey, it's only used once. So like I said,
it's one and done. Please recycle in this biohazard bag.
This is the red one.
Oh my God. That's great. That's what Trish should do. She should send those socks in like a biohazard bag. Like so when people open up their Kickstarter, they pull out the nut and sock in a bag.
They're like, what? And I say, please enjoy.
Please enjoy. Have fun, because you know what? MILF, it does a body good.
It sure in the hell does. MILFs are a treasure. I'm just going to say that on the show right fucking now. That's
and the worst part is when you get those big old Shikari milk sacks, you know, guys,
Uh-oh.
that's how you end up with two black eyes like me. Oh yeah.
He said, that's how I got these two black eyes. And the little laugh after it just sold it. I was like, this fucking guy. Oh, shit.
Oh shit, son.
Oh,
Well,
that's great.
well, I appreciate you being on, Stone. This has been a great
Thank
show,
you,
my
Russ.
friend. Brother, I cannot wait for this to launch. I can't wait to finish book one. I'm going to definitely do a Blue Balls review on it with Harry Sachs. We're going to come in.
Oh, yeah. Long.
We're going to talk about this shit. We're going to say how great book one is. We're going to get people in on this. We're going to show it some love. I'm fucking amped. I am absolutely amped. And then let's see, what did Trish say here? She said, Mike said, do you want the red nut and sock or the blue nut and sock? Doesn't make a difference. Horror awaits. Well, nobody wants the blue nut and sock because they had blue balls before. So, you know, they want that red one because they want to pop that cherry. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
There it is.
Yeah,
Bam.
yeah.
Snap.
That's a sales pitch. God damn it.
And so Shamika says, great live. Russ, this has been so much fun. Thank you, Trish. But man, I truly appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you being on here. I admire what you do. It was great listening to the story about how this came about. I'm so ready to dig in to the first book, finish it, get my paws on the second book, and just tear into it. So
I appreciate that, my friend.
Thanks, so I'm going to share the shit out of this for you, bro.
Trish, you are a treasure. Thank you. And thank you, everybody that's hit the notification. And thank you for your support. Your general. I didn't think anybody would be interested in this shit. And I thank you guys humbly for proving me the fuck wrong. You guys prove me wrong every day. So thank you.
Hey, you know what? That's what we do, man. We're a circle of great people that take care of each other. No, we're not a circle of nut and socks because we don't do circle.
Yeah, because you know, hey, only Benadryl, but not the nut and socks, okay?
Hey, $20 is $20 though, so always remember
but
that.
hey, $20 is $20.
$20 is $20. So, friend, I'm gonna give you the full screen. Give everybody a shout out where they can find you. They can go pick up book one and pick up the limited edition art book and give that elevator pitch for Darkness Falls one last time for me, if you would, my friend.
Not a problem. My friends, you can find out everything about Journey of the Shadow at journeyoftheshadow.com. That's just Journey of the Shadow, no www. You can find me on Facebook, Journey of the Shadow, Instagram, Journey of the Shadow. If you want to pick up a copy of a personalized copy signed by yours truly, just go to my online store, journeyoftheshadow.com/shop. And my friends, up next is Darkness Falls, where our hero, Commander Sumisu, faces a new evil on the planet. His name's Yoro, the Disciple of Torment. Human bodies are now piling up, and that causes the knives of doubt to carve into the soul of Sumisu. Can he pull strength from several phenomenal extraterrestrial women? If he cannot, darkness will fall upon the universe without mercy. Thank you for your time and attention. And I hope you guys enjoy the story.
Well, thanks so much for being on again, my friend. I'm going to kick you back to the green room. Hang out there for just a minute, if you would, please, and I'll be right back to chat with you backstage.
All right, Russ.
Whoops, wrong button. Oh, it's my show now. These damn fat fingers. There we go. I got it. So, guys, thanks so much for being here tonight. Thanks so much for checking out the show. We are back in rotation again. I'm going to be kicking some ass on the shows. I'm trying to get amped up, get stuff rolling again. I had a shitty end of the year, kind of start of the year, but I'm not going to let that get me down. We're going to kick some ass. I'm back on the road of trying to get art done for this so we can get book 2 published. And Stepful Circle Destruction, we're working on those art cards as well. We're going to get that game cranked out and get that out to all you awesome backers. Guys, please check out Darkness Falls. Check out Journey of the Shadow. Check out Darkness Falls. If you want to wait till the Kickstarter and get both books to help bump those numbers and keep them up in the ranks of Kickstarter, do that. If you can't wait to get your paws on it, go to journeyoftheshadow.com, get you a copy, get a copy of the great art book, and there's prints, all kinds of great stuff on there. So check that out. Guys, the link is in the description to get notified when the project launches at 8 p.m. on the 18th. And if you can't afford to back it, throw $1 at it. If you can't afford to throw $1 at it, please share it out. Create your own post. Make your own links. Make it cool. That's what we creators need. We need you to share this out for us, because when we share, we get knocked down by the algorithms and they don't want us getting it out there. But when you share, all your friends see it. And then when your friend shares, all their friends sees it, and it's just a domino effect. So please, please, please share out the projects of these great indie creators. Help us reach a greater audience and get these stories in people's hands. It's not about the money, it's about people reading these stories. We write a great universe, we create a great story, and we want you people to read it. If that's the end game, that's what it's all about. Getting it into your hands, sharing our universe with you, and you being excited to talk to us about it. So again, please check it out. The link has been thrown into the comments. It's also in the description. You can hit get notified, and it'll notify you upon launch. And go check out that great book. So everyone, thanks so much for supporting indie creators. We love you and everything you do. This is Russ Explode Studios with projects that'll blow your mind. You guys have a great night and a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Blastcast on Saturday.